definitely is the first time we've gotten a call from Iceland. And I believe your name is pronounced Aegir. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
Okay, sweet. First call from Iceland. Have no idea what time it is over there, but welcome to Truth Wanted. How can we help you? What's going on?
So it's more of a discussion point rather than a question, but I was wondering about how people justify seizure of land when by using religious texts.
Yeah. This is a deep one, right? Because this goes into like modern politics real quick, but like historically, this has like always been a thing. You could talk about the Crusades and how people were trying to take back the Holy Lands from Muslim occupied territories and stuff. But even before that, even in the Bible itself, it's full of the Jewish people constantly, returning to the promised land or having their land taken away by invaders because they failed to appease God in some way. Like it's pretty much as old as religion itself, or at least organized religion, right? So, I mean, obviously, as a skeptic, I'm not for it. I don't think it's a justified reason to do anything. And if somebody came to me and said, no, we have to tear down, your place of living so that we can build a church or something, I mean, I'm going to be against that, right? But I don't know. Like, I'm curious why you would ask a show like this that, because I think our answers are going to be pretty straightforward.
I figured so too. But like you said, you can compare this to the Crusades.
Yeah.
Those happened 400, 500 years ago, and when it's happening in the modern age, at the end of like the general colonization era, how is this not just colonization by another name?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think you can look at a lot of colonialist history that way. I mean, in the United States, we kind of had an idea of manifest destiny, but like other countries had similar, kind of proclamations. And a lot of times it was just an excuse to just take people's land, take people's resources. You could look at the history of the Dutch, the Dutch Indian Trading Company. Yeah, stuff like that, and see some of that. I don't know, but Jesus, I want to get your take because I've been talking a bit here.
Oh yeah, so not a lot of people know this, but the Mormon Church, or as one of my favorite nicknames I like to give them, is the Church of Ziontology.
Ziontology.
They're Zionists. They have this belief that certain things, certain places, geographical, places hold so much importance that, certain events are going to occur at certain times at certain specific locations. They also believe that, for example, that the Garden of Eden was in Missouri.
Right.
And that happens to also be kind of where I am supposed to return to a place called Adam on Diamond, which is, I guess, apparently the Adamic tongue or Adamic language, the language that Adam and Eve spoke for like that location. They've and they're not the only ones. I mean, a lot of religions have this idea of a certain specific geographic spot being the place, or having some sort of importance. Mecca's an interesting one for me.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, Jesus, because isn't the Mormon Church actually one of the largest landowners right now in the United States, based on
absolutely. A lot of people don't realize the Mormon Church owns more land in Florida than Disney.
I believe it.
Think about that. It's an insane amount of land, but they own a tremendous amount of land, including all that area over there in Missouri where Jesus is supposed to come back. And it's they also own the two largest cattle ranches in the entire world. One being the largest being in Argentina, and then the second being in
I didn't know
Florida.
that. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's crazy, the billions and billions that they've got just in land and stuff, and it all comes because if you stay in a church long enough, they'll eventually ask you for your land in your will or whatever. Become wealthy enough, then eventually the church is going to come and knock and be like, hey, yo, we want your land. and they've been doing that for 100 years, and it's worked really, really well for them.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't really talk about, because in Protestant traditions they may ask you to tithe or something. Your Catholic Church, they want you to tithe 10%, and they do that in the Mormon Church almost like it's kind of like a requirement for membership.
That's bare minimum requirement.
Yeah,
is a 10% tithe. On top of that is other things like fast offerings and your just general time. I mean, the Mormon Church doesn't really hire like custodial work. They just have the members do it all for them. They don't pay their clergy. They do pay their upper, their apostles, and their 70s.
Of course. Of course, because the majority shareholders, they have to have their
but local leadership isn't paid. They're just expected to just do it, and so that they save crazy amounts of money. But it's just the amount of industry that they own, and how many different companies that they own. I mean, they own a lot of Hawaii as well too, and another thing that goes with the colonization. A lot of people don't realize this. Samoa, American Samoa, it's I think like 46% of Samoans are Mormon.
Really?
Yeah, big time. They've really went hard on those islands back in the day. So most of Polynesia, Polynesia's like very, very Mormon.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson isn't Mormon, right?
No. But there are tons of celebrities that you'd be surprised who are or were.
Yeah. It's gosh, and that is colonization in the modern world. Honestly, I mean, that's just not even just the leftovers of it, because like when in the 20th century, when we started, when European countries started saying, okay, fine, these people can finally rule over their own lands, we'll give them back, and democratic governments were started everywhere. Organizations like the Mormon Church, they didn't have to give up anything.
Well, they didn't. You're right, but a lot of people don't realize how much Utah is tied up into the religion is tied into the politics. The first governor of Utah was also the prophet of the Mormon Church.
Yes.
And Brigham Young, who was he's got a very bad history of racism and all that sort of stuff, but slave owner, and
so does the university too, from what I
but a lot of people, another interesting thing is that part of the Mormon mythology, or their beliefs, are that before Jesus came to the Americas to visit the people of America, God cursed half of the inhabitants of South America with dark skin as a way to separate them from the righteous chosen people, the Nephites. So there was like the Nephites and the Lamanites, and they were separated by the color of their skin, which God inflicted on them, right?
Right.
And so now, fast forward to the 70s and 80s, the Mormon Church had a program called the Lamanite Relocation Program, where they were taking Native American children and fostering them into Mormon homes. And we had one growing up. I say one. We had our own Lamanite. And the idea and hope was that they would be, and I mean, the prophet was even quoted as saying, like, their skin is even, their skins have even turned lighter in this process of, during this program that was going on. And it was just so, just very like disgusting and terrible.
The Book of Mormon talks a lot about skin color, more than you'd expect. Right? Lot. Yeah.
I really hope. I think we've got a caller coming up that wanted to talk about Bigfoot, because there's that plays. The Mormon has the Mormon.
They have a Bigfoot mythology in there for sure.
Bigfoot mythology. Cain. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but
we should talk about that. We'll probably go to that call next. I hope we answered your questions here. Thanks so much for calling in, and get some sleep wherever you're at, because it's gotta be late. I'm imagining, right?
Yeah, just 1 past midnight. I'm fine.
All right, sounds good.
Hanging out for the Bigfoot.
All right, we'll get you when you come back next time.